Welcome back to the Dashman channel. Got a great video for you today. The other day I was delivering supplies to a friend, and on my way to his house I had his address on Waze so I could know exactly how to get there, and Waze alerted to me that there were police reported ahead. So I was sure to slow down, but what I came up on was a Dodge pickup down in the creek. I pulled over to see if I could help. Hey, officer.
Does he need help pulling this out or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna. The car's running. He thought it'd be a great idea to try to drive the creek, and now he can't get out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the car is running. It's operable. He just needs to pull.
Okay, and I'm gonna pull off the road here.
Okay.
And assess it.
So I go down to talk to the guy who is in the creek. He's got his pants all the way up to his knees, shoes and socks off, and what he's doing is he's walking around and picking rocks, and he's taking rocks and trying to build a couple ramps so his tires can go up and his bumper will clear the ground there. Apparently when he went into the water he felt his rear bumper hit the ground, and he ended up not having the clearance to be able to turn around and get back out. I told him I had some tow straps and I would gladly help him. He said he would try to drive it out first, and if that didn't work, I'd go ahead and pull him out of there.
I can back you. That way I got him on both sides. So yeah, I'll pull forward. All right. He's already got straps over. Sure. You want? Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. I gotta get it.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So I've got my dash cam all out of there. Let me back up so if he can. Well, that did it.
Yeah, he definitely put just enough rocks there to get that bumper to clear the ground. Did you see how close that was? And he did a pretty good job.
Well, that did it.
So the guy hands his ID to the police officer and the officer goes back to his car. That's when I start asking what exactly happened. He said he thought it would be fun to go down there, but realized that he was stuck and was working on getting his way out when the officer just apparently happened by, or possibly somebody driving by had called it in. That's when he looked over at me and told me that he was screwed. He told me that he did not have a license, that he was suspended, so this was not going to be a great day for him.
Go ahead and head out. He's probably going to have his vehicle towed. I don't know if they're going to lock him up or not. But that's going to be it. That was interesting.
I wasn't really paying attention, and Waze looked like it was telling me to go back the other way. I realized that I was going in the wrong direction, so I ended up having to turn around. When I got to my friends, I told them about what happened, and it turns out we were close enough, so my buddy said it would be a great idea to send the quadcopter down just to see how everything turned out. So that's what we did, and boy were we surprised how it ended. So this was the scene by the time I got the quadcopter down there after getting to my friends, putting it up and sending it down. Probably about 10-15 minutes had passed. Now, the entire incident was probably about an hour and a half. This video is much shorter, but there is a lot of this right here in this video, so if you want to skip the mystery ending, go ahead and jump to 11 minutes and 30 seconds. But if not, if you're willing to, just sit here and kind of watch how things played out. I did whittle it down quite a bit. Right here, it looks like he's about to give him a field sobriety test, but my battery was running low. Couldn't stay there for that anyway, so I had to fly back to my buddy's house, swap the battery out, and send the quadcopter back. This is what we found when we got back there. He's sitting on the hood of the truck again. Obviously not in handcuffs, so that's good for him. So at this time, my buddy and I are talking, and obviously the guy's not under arrest, or he'd be in the police car. The other officers left in their truck. So we were just wondering what was going to happen at this point. I flew the quadcopter back to my buddy's house and swapped out the battery. And by the time I got back, there was another vehicle there. We figured it was probably this guy's buddy there to give him a ride home. And then a tow truck showed up. We were wondering why the tow truck driver wasn't getting in position to pick up the truck. But my battery was running low, so I had to fly back, swap it out. By the time I got back, the tow truck driver was getting ready to leave, and the two men were getting in the truck. The guy who drove off into the creek was getting in the passenger seat, his buddy in the driver's seat, and now we were wondering how they're going to get the other truck back. But the tow truck driver takes off. The police officer, he drives off as well. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because we watched the police officer leave. While the police officer was driving away, both guys got out of the Dodge pickup to watch him leave. Then the original man in the creek got in the passenger side of the truck, but the other one remained outside. The friend who showed up, who is now at the driver's door of the Dodge pickup, seems to be looking across the creek and into the woods quite a little bit here. At the time, we had no idea why. We were eventually surprised, because what we missed is happening right now before your eyes. You're probably missing it too. But now that I'm pointing it out, I'm wondering if you can see anything. Look closely. Right about here, we started seeing some movement over in the creek, and it turns out there is a woman who has come out of the woods, and she's walking across the creek, and she's got like long boots on. She didn't even bother taking her boots off. The tow truck driver drives back on by, but now I'm looking at this lady, and she was hiding over there in the woods for nearly an hour and a half, just waiting. It really does make you wonder what was going on. Was this really just a joyride in the creek? We will most likely never know, but let's take it back again and look a little closer. Here you see the guy look over across the creek, and this is what we missed out. I zoomed it in a bit. You can actually see the woman working her way through the woods there, coming down. And of course, when it's zoomed all the way out, that's a very small part of the image, but she's winding her way down through the woods. It just makes you wonder, what was she doing out there the whole time? What were these guys doing there in the first place? It may not have been anything wrong, but the poor guy got stuck down there in the creek, and then a police officer showed up. And for whatever reason, she stayed out there in the woods, and now those boots are probably ruined. I mean, those look like leather boots about knee-high, and she is not concerned at all with the fact that they're getting wet. Just comes right across. Well, the good thing is they had an extra person to drive that other vehicle away. So in the end, he didn't go to jail. They got the help they needed, and that's it. But the mystery still remains. There you have it. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I like to feature dash cam incidents that happen while I'm driving around or even parked in the Nashville area. In between any incidents happening, I do like to feature the car clubs and the car scene around Nashville, including my personal collection of unique vehicles. So be sure to check out my other videos, like them, and absolutely subscribe to the Dashman Nashcam channel.